Hello, can everyone hear me? Okay, yeah. So as I was telling you before, but technical difficulties, we've had some technical difficulties this morning, and it took about 5 to right now 7 minutes to fix. So sorry about the delay. How is everyone this morning? Had a good weekend? Okay, great. All right, so today what we're going to do is we're going to go through the perfect buy signal, the perfect sell signal, and after that we will discuss, we'll go through the exact rules for the system. Obviously, you guys are going to get the rules, so there's no need to write them down. Obviously, you have them in the recording as well. So, but yeah, you're also going to get those, and you're going to get those tomorrow, to be exact. So you're going to get the entire trading plan tomorrow when we actually go through the backtesting part. Now tomorrow, also tomorrow, you will get the actual backtesting for this. I want to go through it with you guys, actually from installing it to actually getting the trades to line up properly, because of the time difference and everyone's time difference. Like right now, my clock is set to Central US time, but you know, you might be in Eastern, you might be in Nevada. These might not line up, and I'll show you how to get those to line up, and we'll go through that tomorrow. Sorry. So today, perfect buy signal, perfect sell signal, and then questions, and obviously the entire trading plan, and then questions. Okay, so everyone ready? I'll take silence as a yes. Thanks, Bob. Only one writing. Okay, so this is a counter trend system, right? So basically, we're going to trade counter trend. Now, what do we need for a counter trend system? Well, first of all, we need, for a perfect buy signal, we need the bottom band on the ray trend to be pushed down. Of course, indicators to use is the RayTrader, the ray trend, the one that I've got it on the chart right now. Since we're using historical data, there's no point in using RayTrader, because that's just a tool to help you in your live trading. But it's definitely essential to this system. And we also had the ETP time zones, but I don't have them on the chart anymore. And we also have the MACD cross. And I'll show you how all these work together. So those are the 4 indicators. Obviously, the time frame is 1500 tick ES chart. Trading hours from 8:30 in the morning until 1 p.m. in the afternoon. And I'm going to put the ETP time zones on here as well, just so we're all clear on the trading time. 2 seconds. So we said from 8:30 in the morning until 1300. No loads. But we want to paint the background. There we go. And there it is. We turn the RayTrader on, the ray trend, sorry. Okay, so basically this is a counter trend system. So we need the ray trend to actually push down the bottom band before we even start looking at different stuff. Then what we need to do is we need to draw a, and we'll just take it like this. Then what we need to do is we need to draw a ray line from the tops and try to connect as many highs and bodies of the candles as possible, right? Then after price got pushed down, we wait for price to break above the line and stay above the line at least 3 bars. Now we said at least 3 bars, but this is kind of like more of your own trade sort of thing. We tried to make it as technical as possible. But so yes, that's why we went with at least 3 bars, but you have to see a definite break from the trend line itself. And price needs to come back down, touch the trend line, and then we enter on a green bar, and it has to be a green bar for entry. So if we, and I see that Diane is typing, so we always have to have a green bar for entry. That's very important. Now we also have this MACD cross, and we have 2 types of entries. We have this type of entry where your price actually closes below and then closes back above it, and that's your entry, right? And we have a second type of entry, and we have a special button inside of the RayTrader where we just use the MACD entry. So the MACD entry means, excuse me 2 seconds. And the MACD entry is basically you're waiting for a cross, so you're waiting for the green line to cross above the red. So you're waiting for the K to cross above the D before entering. Now this is a more safe entry, the other one's more aggressive, obviously, you guys can tell. I see that Diane is typing. Okay, let's go through. And John Sellers, Johan. Give me 2 seconds, guys. We'll wait for Diane to finish typing, and we'll be right back. Diane says she doesn't understand to use the right-click limit order to enter, or does the system automatically enter on the MACD cross? The system actually automatically enters on the MACD cross. So it actually waits for the line to be crossed, then it waits for a MACD cross and a green candle for a buy signal. Did you get that, Diane? Yes, we do use the RayTrader to enter. That's why I said we have a special button on the RayTrader, like the reversal bars buttons, and those reversal bar buttons actually have an extended function if you want to enter on the MACD cross. And I'll show you guys all this on Thursday. Okay. Do we use CTP chandelier for trading, for trailing, or for entry, Ron? No, we don't use that for entry. But you can use it for trailing. Okay, so now that this is a buy signal, right, from the cross, and obviously it went and took all three targets. I'll turn the ray trend off just so you can see it in action. Okay. Now there's some peculiarities to this. First of all, the price has to touch the trend line as much as possible, obviously. So as many touches of the trend line as possible. Obviously not in the middle like that. It still has to be off the highs. So you connect 2 points, but then it has to be touched as much as possible. The break of the trend line actually has to, so after the trend line is broken, the break of the trend line actually has to either come within 1 tick of the mid zone or actually retrace all the way to the mid zone, okay, before coming back down and giving us our entry signal. So since this is a counter trend system, why we chose to do this is because you want to give, you want the market to actually show you that its intent is to slow down and possibly even turn from that point. And I'm not sure if I've mentioned this before, but if I didn't, obviously this is the time to do it. If our entry is within the mid band, right? So if the close of this candle actually touches the mid band, then we don't take the trade. Since this is a counter trend system, what we're trying to do is we're trying to grab a retracement. Now, you can, since we call this a retracement, you know, retracing back to the mid zone, then we don't want to buy within the mid zone itself. Excuse me, guys, voice is breaking up. Then you don't want to buy within the mid zone because you don't give the market sufficient room to breathe, you know, and actually go ahead and take your targets instead of coming back down, reversing and stopping you out. Okay, so I see John's in here as well. Hi, John. Sorry about that. Okay, now stops and targets. What do you mean by that, John? Can you please try to explain that better? Thank you. Okay, so stops and targets. First of all, the stop loss is 4 ticks below the low of the signal candle. So this is the signal candle. Obviously, we're going to enter at the open of this one after this closes. We sent you an invite, I think it was yesterday. And then we sent a reminder this morning. You might have, I'm going to have a look at your email address and make sure we've got the right one in the list on Click Meeting, because it seems that you're getting missed. We're going to check your email address and definitely invite you tomorrow, okay? Okay, now the stop is 4 ticks below the signal candle, which is this one right here. And I'm going to draw something so you guys can see it. So I'm going to draw an arrow up. This is the signal candle, right? Our entry candle is this one. So we're going to do 4 ticks below our signal candle, unless our signal candle from the entry to the bottom of the candle is only 1 tick. So that means if our stop is less than 5 ticks, what we do is we grab the stop location from the previous bar onto that. So from, instead of having our stop location at this bar, we're going to have it underneath this bar, and I'm going to draw another. And I'll show you guys an example of that somewhere. We're definitely going to get over an example of that. Okay, so instead of being behind the signal candle, it's 1 bar behind. Okay, now the targets are a 1-to-1. Target 1 is a 1-to-1 stop to target ratio. So your stop is here. Your target 1 is a multiple of from your entry to your stop times 1. Your target 2 is from your entry to your stop times 2, and your target 3 is from your entry to your stop times 3. Okay, did everyone get that? And last, obviously, but not least, once our target 1 is hit, we move our stop loss to break even to protect open position profit. Do you guys have any questions about a long trade? And then we're going to move on to the perfect short trade, okay? No questions? Okay, no questions. Let's find a short trade. There it is. Target 1, target 2. Actually, we'll just we'll use this one because I did say the perfect short trade. Okay, oh, what I didn't mention about the long trade is after breaking and retracing to the middle, it actually has to come back and touch the bottom band. Very, very important. It actually has to touch the bottom band and then jump off that. And now we're going to move to the short trade, and I'm going to explain this in sequence. So, as we said, price moves up and is pushing our top band up. Then we draw a trend line to aid us with the entry. Like that. Then we draw a trend line. And sorry about this, guys, but there we go. Then we draw a trend line. Then we wait for price to come up. So after jumping off the trend line multiple times, break the trend line, retrace to the midband, or 1 tick from midband, come back up, break or touch. In this case, it actually broke above. Then it even actually pushed a line up a little bit. And then we had a cross below on the MACD and a cross below on the bar at the same time, and we entered short. Now, obviously, we are way far away from the midline, from the mid zone. So this was a very, very good trade. And from what we can see, this actually turned around completely. Okay, so checklist. Counter trend system. That means for a sell signal, we need the band to be pushed up. We draw the trend line. Trend line needs to break. Retrace back to the trend line. Retrace into the top zone. Get a cross below the trend line. Get a cross on the MACD. Obviously, we had more than 4 bars separation in between here. So this was a nice clean separation from the trend line itself. And then our stop loss is obviously more than 6 ticks because this bar is just humongous. That's our initial stop loss. If it was less than 6 ticks, we would have used the bar previous to this. Then we place the stop loss 4 ticks above our current bar or our signal bar. Our target one is a 1-to-1 stop to target ratio. Our target 2 is a 1-to-2 stop to target ratio, and our target 3 is a 1-to-3 stop to target ratio. That's pretty much it. Do you guys have any questions? Bye, Raymond. Raymond said he had to go now. Diane asked, is there an alert or do you watch the bar crossing below the line? No, that's actually what the RayTrader does, is it waits for the bar to cross below the trend line and then basically just have the fast MACD, actually the MACD below the average, and that's it. And it actually enters for you. Offer wants to see a failed signal. Sure, we had one just here. There it is. So the failed signal. Actually, this was like that. No, it was not like that. It was like, no. It was this one. I'll show you another fail signal. Anyone else writing? Have any questions? Okay, this is a good fail signal. What do you mean? Can you explain that a little bit more, Bob? Trend line. And that's a winning signal. Winning signal. We don't wait for the exact crossing. So if we get a signal and it's already in, so if we get a cross of the trend line and it's already in a buy potential, then we just enter. So if it crosses, okay. Offer asked, do you wait for the exact crossing of the MAC or just for the green line or above the red for long? So in this sort of situation, and damn it, this is a winning signal again. In this sort of situation, we don't actually wait. We either wait for a cross, but if the green is already above the red, in this sort of situation, we just go right ahead. When it crosses the line, we just enter and that's it. But that only happened like 5 or 6 times at most. Why is it damn sell signal? Losing signal. That's target 1. There it is. All right. So here is the failed signal. Actually, this was a little bit lower. Like that. Okay, so offer wanted to see a failed signal. Well, we entered here. We put our stop loss 4 ticks above. Price came up, stopped us out, then retraced. Is that what you wanted to see, offer? And Bob, can you please repeat what you asked? I'm not ignoring, I just didn't understand the question. Oh, okay, thanks, Bob. Bob said I answered it already. Offer, could you please explain how you disqualified with the middle band? What do you mean? Can you explain that? So is it after it breaks, if it doesn't touch the middle band, then you enter, or? Yeah, so basically if we get a trend line, and I'm going to try to find an example here of one that just didn't work. So let's just do like a really aggressive trend line here. Aggressive meaning something like this sort of thing, okay? Okay, so we have this sort of trend line, right? Price broke above, right? Obviously, it's still not 3 bars above, but we'll, just for the sake of explaining, we'll just say it. But it didn't actually come within 1 tick from the I'm going to ask you what you mean, Ron, just 2 seconds. So basically, we want this retracement to actually come back to the mid band and then come back and touch our line. So this is a disqualified trade. Now, if the trade entry would have been this bar, for example, and this happened quite a lot in our backtesting, this doesn't necessarily say that price is going to change from here. Basically, this is a counter trend system. So we're not banking on the trend to completely change. We're banking on just grabbing some profits out of the trade and out of the trend on a retracement, not necessarily waiting for the trend to change. And we have a rule, and that rule says if we retrace to the mid band, that's a fair assumption that the retracement is about halfway done. Ron, can you please ask your question again? I didn't understand what's the purpose of having to trade the mid band as a rule. It's not necessarily critical. What we actually tested, I was trying to use the exact examples that we tested. It's not necessarily critical because you do have the delayed MACD entry. So the closer the price to the middle band, the less qualified the trade will be. Not necessarily, offer, like this sort of thing. So you get a retracement, price comes up, and then you're kind of in the mid band. But we've seen some of these trades where it actually turns around. What we just used this as a filter because we saw that this saved us from a lot of losing trades. Any other questions? And what I meant by losing trades such as this one, where the trend just keeps going and going and going and doesn't take a breath. Any other questions, guys? The stop loss is at least 6 ticks. It has to be 6 ticks at least, not 8. Offer asked if the successful trades happened on trend changes. No. We've had very successful trades on retracements, like this sort of thing where it's even in stagnation. See, so this was 1 tick from the midband. We entered, it took our target 1, and it hit our stop loss at break even. Then it went against us. Basically, moving stop loss to break even after entering is the main thing that helps us. Basically, target 2 and target 3 are bonuses, right? So if the trend does end up changing, this was a trend continuation system, as a trend continuation entry from a counter trend system. So we just got lucky in this sort of situation. But target 2 and target 3 are bonuses, as I'm saying. And sometimes on a retracement, you might hit target 2. It's very rare when you actually hit target 3. But on trend changes, you hit target 1, target 2, and target 3. But on retracements, it's pretty much a high probability that you will hit target 1. Did that answer your question, Offer? Like this sort of thing. Perfect example. See, we had the retracement. Bam, we entered here because, see, we got our cross. We got our cross on a green candle. We didn't take it because it's a green candle. We then had a doji and we didn't enter because it was a doji. And then we actually waited for the red candle to actually enter. And we entered on this red candle and our stop loss. And this is the perfect example. Our stop loss would have been 5 ticks. So we used the candle previous to this one to actually put our stop above. This is a perfect example as what I was talking about. Then after entry, we hit our target 1. And then it hit our stop loss at break even. And that's it. We were done for this trade. Do you guys have any other questions? Yes, the time is just in the morning to trade. That's what we actually trade. As I said, we are in Eastern Europe, so that kind of makes us trade until like what, 1 o'clock at night, and that's never fun. John says if we've looked at other indicators besides MACD. Yes, and we like the MACD best. Yes, of course you can. Diane said, but you can adjust the system for different times. Yes, of course you can. It's just that this trading plan and this back testing is for the ES 1500 tick chart for this system from 8:30 to 1 in the afternoon. But you can test it on any time frame that you want and on any instrument that you want. And you can use it on anything, just you have to make sure that you test. Test, 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 test. Very important. Diane is still typing, so. Oh, this is a custom MACD. John asked how do we put the vertical markers on the MACD. This is a custom MACD that we built. It's the ETP MACD cross. Will it work on range bars? I'm sure it will. Do we get that? Yes, you do. But this is already built into the RayTrader, so you don't necessarily need it. Diane asked, can you adjust the criteria to say that when price retraces to the midband, it will take a trade on the reverse bar without using any other criteria? Sure. Just use the RayTrader, and when price gets into the midband, turn it on with the reversal bar. Is that what you were asking? John said, do we get the MACD? Yes, yes. That's what I said. Yes, you will get the MACD, but it's in the RayTrader as well. Is this an auto trade system? Mike, this is a semi-automated system where you actually draw the trend lines and you activate them once price breaks the trend line and then comes back and retouches the trend line. So it's a semi-automated system, not fully automated. No, using the system. Can you please explain, Diane? I'm sorry, I'm not getting your question. John says he doesn't understand how it's built in. We actually coded it in to the RayTrader, and we have a delayed entry. That's what we call it, or a MACD entry. So once it breaks the trend line, it either waits for a complete break of the trend line, and the MACD has to be underneath it before actually the MACD needs to be crossed in the direction of the trade. The MACD needs to be crossed in the direction of your trade before it actually enters. So it's not sufficient just to break the trend line. It actually has an added feature of waiting for a MACD cross. Does that answer your question, John? No, I didn't cover that. Actually, I don't want to say no. I don't actually remember if I covered it in the beginning. I probably covered it, but I covered it right now. So if that answered your question, that's great. Diane asks, so right now is the system you have says draw the line, wait for the line break, and MACD cross, but can you make the whole new criteria that just says retrace to midband without a line? That's something completely different, Diane. That's a whole new trading style. That's something different. We didn't backtest that, so we're not comfortable, and not just backtest, but we didn't trade that, so we're not comfortable with actually creating. But if you want and you have that idea, you can come to us and we'll definitely be able to incorporate it. Oh, the system can be altered in any way you want. So since we're not just a company selling the RayTrader, we actually built the RayTrader ourselves, hence the name Expert Trading Programmers. We actually build everything that we sell, we actually build ourselves. So anything, any customization is possible. We don't have to give it to a third party to have them code it and then test it. We actually do everything in-house. So if you guys have ideas for upgrades or anything like of the sort, just let us know. And obviously, I'm not sure if I said this, but any upgrades to the indicators that you buy from us are free for life. Which is the fib lines? The horizontal fib lines, like the retracement, Neil? Neil asked, can you use the fib lines instead of the trend lines? Yes. You can use those by simply just drawing a Fibonacci retracement. Or actually, are you talking about the Ray balance? Or is it just a normal fib retracement? Okay, so a normal fib, that will be, let me just draw a Fibonacci. I'll just draw a Fibonacci retracement and then we can go from here, okay? So let's just say you want to enter on the 161.8%, right? Mike, what do you mean the products list? And with the RayTrader, you just draw a horizontal line, which is an F6, I think. Yeah, that's the one. You just draw a horizontal line, and then you enable it. And once that's enabled, when price comes down and touches it, it actually enters you in the trade. If you want to have a time-sensitive entry, then you draw just a normal line that is horizontal. And once price actually breaks beyond this line, it's actually going to shut it off. Does that answer your question, Neil? Products list link here, indicators. Okay, great, Neil. Indicators, you can find them. Let me just grab our website. It's experttradingprogrammers.com, and you will find the products list inside of the menu. So give me 2 seconds and I'll drop the link in here. I'll drop the link in here and I'll show you how to get. Can you make this system full auto? This system will not be fully automatic. Because of drawing the trend lines. We are actually working on an auto trend line tool, but until we get that completely finished and tested, and that's probably going to be like 6 months to a year down the line, and maybe then we can make this system full auto. Until then, it's semi-automatic. Okay. Bob asked, do you have the MACD now in your trial, in our trial? No, you don't. You're going to get that in a new bundle tomorrow. Now, this trial, this 14-day trial that you guys are grabbing right now, this is a unique offer that we did just for the people inside of NinjaTrader from the launch. And all the prices on our website are introductory prices. They're going to go up after this. Okay, so obviously they're going to go up for the Ray system, not the other prices. And I'll show you right now. This is our website. You go to products. We have the trade tracker, pattern draw, and trade manager. These are going to stay the same. And the Ray is all, these are the Ray tools, which are the ones that we're actually working with right now. Mike asked, do you have any full auto trade system now? Mike, no, we don't have any full automatic trade systems right now. Do you, if you want, try to contact us via Skype and we'll have a chat about full automated systems, okay? You can find our Skype info in About Us, or actually in Contact. And you can find our Skype info right here. Okay, do you guys have any other questions? What are you sending tomorrow? Tomorrow I'm going to send you the new bundle. And in that new bundle, there's a new bundle. Yes, Bob, we're actually that's what we worked on over the weekend. The problem with fixing and moving the targets, that's why we are sending everyone a new bundle tomorrow. So John, yes, in the new bundle, you're going to get the ETP MACD cross as well as an upgrade to all the RayTrader indicators. And in tomorrow's bundle, we're gonna attach workspace with the back testing as well. So there's just a whole bunch of stuff in tomorrow's bundle. Yes, Bob. Any other questions, guys, about the products or about anything? Yes, Neil, the trial is based on when you imported the bundle, but we're going to cut everyone off on Sunday. The name of the system that I showed you today, Mike? It's the RayRetest system. Yes, Bob. Yes. You're welcome, Mike. Anyone else questions? If not, we're going to shut it down for today. In tomorrow's session, what we're going to do is we're going to run through the back testing. I just showed you the examples, but in tomorrow's session, we're going to run through the back testing. You're welcome, Offer. You're welcome, guys. Yes, Bob, we're going to try to get this recording. It actually takes a while for Click Meeting to upload the recording. That's why we normally wait a couple of hours, 2 to 3 hours before we actually launch this. You're welcome, Ron. So yes, we'll try to get the recording out today. Cool. Well, thanks for your time, guys, today. Have an awesome rest of your day. And I'll see you guys tomorrow at 10. I'm going to send you, you're welcome, Diane. I'm going to send you a link tonight. And John, don't forget to send me that email, okay? Send me your new email so I can add you properly to the list. We're going to send an email tonight about the webinar, and we're going to remind you 2 hours before the webinar tomorrow. Have an awesome rest of your day, guys, and I'll speak to you guys tomorrow. Bye.